Hello, bruvs. We're back with new book Arrivals, number 341. I was going to have a nice intro with a poem about a table that wobbles like this one does, but find the CD. It's quite a rare CD, too. But anyway, let's go. 341. These are half the books. There's the other half of the books I got today. Let's see how many. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 25, 27 to start with. These are two books I picked up at the Salvation Army. After talking to this one lady, she talked to me about everything. She was kind of creeping around, and then she was telling me about everything from politics to her husband and to her cheating brother and all kinds of stuff. I was just like, lady. But she was asking me about what kind of books I like, and she likes romance. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's not my thing. But yeah, I bought these two because I know I can sell these for some money. And I will sell these for some money. Cured 81 natural cures for cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and more. Miracles from the Vault, anthology of underground cures. We shall sell these. I'll make probably 20 bucks off the pair of them, and I paid 50 cents a piece, so that's great. Great for me. A copy of Mere Christianity. Don't look at my credit card info, you son of a bitches. Which I thought was a vintage book, but it's more or less a 19. Says 52, but that's not right. It's got to be 80s. It does have an ISBN. It doesn't look like it's from the 70s, so obviously Mere Christianity is C.S. Lewis, and it's a great shape. So let's see what the cover looks like. No decorative boards or anything, but it's a nice vintage looking not mass market, but hardcover. I would say it's from the 90s or 2000s. That's my guess. I could be wrong. I don't know when they started bringing out the longer ones, but I'm gonna guess it's 90s. North Woods by Daniel Mason. This novel is actually a big seller, and I'm probably going to sell this. I have a hardcover copy of this, and I was going to read it on this channel, but I'm sure I would get a copyright strike. So, but this book's worth some money. I'll probably sell it for 10 bucks just to make some money. It's in great shape. Paid a buck for it, probably sell it for 10. Basically a brand new book. Might as well sell it since I have a hardcover and this now. But this is supposed to be some kind of a groundbreaking novel. When two young lovers abscond from a Puritan colony, little do they know that their humble cabin in the woods will become the home of an extraordinary succession of human and non-human characters alike. An English soldier destined for glory abandons the battlefields of the New World to devote himself to growing apples. A pair of spinster twins navigate war and famine, envy and desire. A crime reporter unearths. I can't say it. Unearths. It's hard to say. Unearths. It's hard to say it without fucking lisping. Unearths. Earth. I can say earth, but it's the un part. Unearth. Unearths. Unearths. Yeah, it's hard when you gotta add the S to it. It's like a double S sound. Unearths. It's a fucking clunky. The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I always hated that song, but it's part of the Great Lakes, and since I live in the Great Lakes, not inside them physically. The Book Nook, your next book. Get $1.49 towards your next book. Return this book to the Book Nook. I think the Book Nook still lives. What year was this book? Of course, the Book Nook sounds like a used bookstore, but this is from the 70s, early 80s. So I'm guessing the Book Nook no longer exists. But if I ever start to care about the Edmund Fitzgerald, I will read this. Grand times in Grand Rapids. And since the Detroit Red Wings AHL team plays in Grand Rapids, I figured I should pick this up. There you go. Chick in a bikini. Who's this guy? Frank Knox. Salvation Army. Oh, our women's role in the Civil War. Whoa, what's that? A train on the tracks stopped in the snow. Powerful locomotives like this one stalled in the snow between Grand Rapids and Holland, were sometimes halted by Michigan storms in railroading's early days. Yeah, when you get a fucking lake effect storm, you're going to drop a shitload of snow. Belknap, I know that name. All right. These witches don't burn. This looks like some kind of, what's in here? See some kind of paper. What is it? Something in there. Probably the original receipt. Barnes & Noble bookseller. See how much she paid for the book. Member card, 10% off. Buy one fresh baked cookie, get 50% off a second cookie from 2022. See how much she paid for this. Witches Don't Burn, $8.99. Crystals, how to use their healing power, $6.30. Oh, she was a member though, so. This is a big, there is this big spider behind you on the wall. Holy shit. Yeah, that's my fucking pet tarantula, motherfucker. Don't ever speak of him. He doesn't like attention. Member card. So this bitch paid $9 for this book. I paid 50 cents. It's not worth shit, but I'll add it to my witch collection. Well, there's a witch store in town. I may donate some books to her. Haven't seen the witch in a couple of years. I might go visit her. The Big Book of Cryptid Trivia. Fun facts and fascinating folklore about Bigfoot, Mothman, Loch Ness Monster, the Yeti, and more elusive creatures. You really have a podcast and you're telling me there's a big spider behind me? And a fucking Chumbawamba are you? That's some Chumbawamba bullshit, honestly. Not only am I pointing the camera forward, but it's a fucking ignorant thing to say. Not because it's just stupid, just dumb. Punch yourself in the face, please. Then you'll be absolved for your stupidity. Getting hairy. Yeah, so Big Book of Cryptid Trivia. Tahoe, Tessie, Mokel, Mabembe, Ahul of Java, Georgia Bigfoot. Now, I don't believe in these two motherfuckers because I don't even know what that means. Piltdown Man, Hogzilla, Pope Lick Monster, and more. Blood Stoppers and Bear Walkers, 3rd edition with additional tales. Folk Traditions of Michigan's Upper Peninsula by Richard Dorson. Fred fucking Rogers' stepbrother. Remote and rugged Michigan's Upper Peninsula, fondly known as the UP, has been home to a rich variety of indigenous people and old world immigrants, a heritage deeply embedded in today's Yooper culture. Ojibways, French Canadians, Finns, Cornish, Poles, Italians, Slovenians, and others have all lived here, attached to the area by its timber, mineral ore, and fishing grounds, mixing local happenings with supernatural tales and creatively adapting traditional stories to suit changing audiences. The diverse inhabitants of the UP have created a wealth of lore populated with tricksters, outlaws, blah, blah, blah. Father Elijah. An apocalypse. I don't like that crease in there, but it's there. Don't ever come back here again, you son of a bitch. I'll block you for being stupid. Ever say something stupid like that again. Add a B&A sticker. No, I'm not adding the sticker. Teleport or fly? No. Father Elijah and Apocalypse by Michael O'Brien. I've sold this book before, but it was in hard or soft cover edition. And this is hardcover, so I might be able to get a little more for it. Don't know if I'm going to sell it, but I have that opportunity. Much funner to hoard these books, but it's kind of pointless. Here's another Time Inc. book, as you can see. Time Inc. Wickford Point. It's a novel by John P. Marquand. I don't really know what it's about, but there's a thing in here. I won't say the girl's name, but you can obviously see it. I looked her up. I was going to say, hey, I found your book, but then I found that she had a felony for fucking retail fraud, so probably shouldn't contact her. Say, hey, you want your book back? She might retail fraud me, too. There's the editor. A more indolent woman than Bella Brill. Never loud through the pages of a novel. Anyway, I have a small collection of these books. This one doesn't really... I mean, you can see how hard the cover is for a soft cover. And these are known to crack off. But I've collected about 5 or 10 of them. Probably closer to 10. And half of them, the cover will just break right off. I'll give you an example. See, like this. I guess this kind of sounds the same, but this one's way heavier. It's probably twice the heaviness as this one. Listen to that fucking wind. Paul Theroux, The Collected Stories. Isn't this guy a horror writer? Written over 25 years, the more than 60 stories in this volume are funny and sardonic. I guess they're not horror stories. Ghost story, murder mystery, sexual farce, political satire, culture clash, parable, all glow with Thoreau's intelligence, elegance, and ironic wit, with his marvelous sense of place, with his ear for dialogue, and with his tragicomic vision. Damn, that wind don't stop. Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe. I mean, I didn't know that. How many people wrote about Faustus? Is he similar to Faust? Michael Kiefer's early work helped to establish the current consensus that the 1604 version best preserves Dr. Faustus's original form, and that the 1616 text was censored and revised. The first Broadview edition, praised for its lucid introduction and scholarship, was the first to restore 2 displaced scenes. I hate these college stickers they put on there. I understand why they put them on there, but I don't like them. Authorial manuscript, and that the 1616 text is of little substantive value. Showed that the 1604 Quarto's Marlovian scene. What's the book about? That's all I want to know is what it's about. I assume it's similar to Faust's, or Goethe's Faust, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Could be totally wrong. The Kingdom of the Cults. I already have 2 copies of this in hardcover, but this is a vintage one. And much prefer the vintage over the semi-vintage. This is like a 50-year-old book as opposed to a 20 or 30-year-old book. 77, so that's 23, 49 years. basically 50 years. What's that? Detritus. Sure, all this stuff about the cults are outdated, but whatever. Why you buy the newer edition, then it has that. I don't know why I keep finding this book, but now I have a shitload of same books on the cult. Hitchcock on Hitchcock, and right after I found this book at the library, some lady, I heard her, she was the lady stacking the books in the little library store. She started talking. One of the other ladies asked her how she was doing, and she said, I'm doing okay, but I keep getting spells of vertigo, which was ironic because I was at that very library about 15 or 20 years ago when I had an attack of vertigo, which was the onset of vertigo for me. And it was like the Hitchcock movie where you see the thing just spinning in a circle. It's exactly what happened, and I could not function, so I had to like try to walk to the counter to get help because I could not see straight. And then I got to a room and I started vomiting profusely. People thought I was on drugs, but I was just having a bad case of vertigo, which is not fun. Anyway, it was kind of ironic that I found the book on Hitchcock because he wrote that famous movie, or shot the famous movie Vertigo. I went and talked to the lady and told her, better go to the doctor, mammo. She was like 70, so it's probably especially important to go. Africans in America. America's journey through slavery. There's the baby. Mammy taking care of the baby. Charles Johnson, Patricia Smith, and the WGBH series research team. A riveting narrative history of America from the Jamestown landing in 1607 to the brink of the Civil War. Africans in America tells the shared history of Africans and Europeans as seen through the lens of slavery. Meticulously researched, this book weaves together the experiences of colonists, slaves, free and fugitive blacks, etc., etc. And I assume that the same person who donated that book donated this one, Yuletide in Dixie, Slavery, Christmas, and Southern Memory by Robert E. May. Hey, what an awful cover. And we're going to put some chains in the shape of a Christmas tree. How did enslaved African Americans in the Old South really experience Christmas? Did Christmas time provide slaves with a lengthy and jubilant respite from labor and the whip, as is generally assumed, or is the story far more complex and troubling? I assume that at Christmas time there weren't many crops growing in most of the South, except for probably Florida. But I could be wrong. I don't know what black people or slaves did in the colder temperatures, but I don't think they were working fields. Who knows what they were doing? I guess I'm going to read this at Christmas time when it comes about. I will read this book and then I'll find out what they did. Yeah, didn't expect to find this kind of a book. Slavery, Christmas, and Southern Memory. What year was this? 2019. What a bizarre topic. All right, so I'll put that on my Christmas list coming up. Dismantling a potent vestige of lost cause mythology. Maine, beautiful. And if you look right over there, right above that guy's head, you can see some books on Maine. And the only reason why that is because they're right next to the Laura Mundo UFO books. And Laura Mundo was from Maine. So I do plan on reading a bunch of Laura Mundo stuff eventually, but I keep forgetting about it. And in case I need some research material, I now have about 5 or 6 books on Maine, the history of Maine, for whatever that's worth. I have a letter that was written to her husband, Otto Marxer, from some coastal. What are those things called? Not a hotel. It's kind of like a hotel, but they're a resort, a coastal resort where they were cooks from like the 1920s. Interesting to nobody except me, but Laura Mundo is from. Well, she moved here. I can't remember why she moved here. Oh, I remember why Laura Mundo moved to Michigan. Her and her husband were living in Maine. I think they might have moved somewhere else, but then they were offered a job at Henry Ford's new resort. What was that place called? It's still open, the Dearborn Inn. That's where it was. And he became the main chef, so one of the main chefs. So that's why they moved here. Truman Capote, other voices, other rooms. I believe I have this book, just not in this. What a weird looking bastard that guy is. He's dead, right? He dead. I believe he's long dead. Truman Capote's first novel is a story of almost supernatural intensity and inventiveness, an audacious foray into the mind of a sensitive boy as he seeks out the grown-up enigmas of love and death in the ghostly landscape of the Deep South. At the age of 12, Joel Knox is summoned to meet the father who abandoned him at birth. Exciting. The Philosopher and the Druids, a journey among the ancient Celts. And I got my Druids up there, so it won't be a far walk to put this motherfucker on this shelf. Early in the 1st century BC, a Greek philosopher named Poseidonius began an ambitious and dangerous journey into the little-known land of the Celts. A man of great intellectual curiosity and considerable daring, Poseidonius traveled from his home on the island of Rhodes to Rome, the capital of the expanding empire that had begun to dominate the Mediterranean. From there, Poseidonius planned to investigate for himself the mysterious Celts, reputed to be cannibals and savages. I believe it. Love. We'll go with Soul Sounds. Merry Summer Rain. I found a book by this bitch last week. I don't know what I did with it. It's probably over here somewhere. I don't know where it is. Merry Summer Rain. What did I do with it? Mourning the Tears of Truth. I really don't like spirituality kind of books. Merry Soul Sounds is the book Merry Summer Rain's readers have been waiting for. Her own story, in her own words, about the experiences which shaped her extraordinary life from her childhood to her recent meetings with some very interesting starborn friends. I assume those are like aliens. Merry Summer Rain is the author of 12 best-selling books. I don't know why every book I find with her always has some kind of fucking jizz on the covers. I don't know what that means. Jenny, Kid, Amy, Second, Ed, Sarah. Mourning the Tears of Truth. What year was this from? 1992. The next time Bill and I visited Carol's house, we brought Jenny and Sarah. Carol had something bullshit. A Drop of the Hard Stuff by Lawrence Block. New York Times selling author. This book was basically free because a lot of these books were. Same with that one. This one thrift store I go to has a sale in March where you buy one book, you get 3 free, which means they probably have a shitload of books in the back room and they just keep slowly bringing them out. Because if they brought them all out, I would just buy them all. So I think they're just trying to save them. I don't know why you would give away. I know it's like National Reading Month or something, so that's the plan. But I think they wanted to go for the entire month, so they're kind of staggering the books they bring out. Anyway, I got this for free, so why wouldn't I get it? Actually, I had to pay for that one because the hardcovers are more than the soft covers, so they make you pay for the hardcover, and then you get 3 free, etc., etc. And I paid for that one and this one and this one. Makes sense. Animal Magnetism, Rita Mae Brown, My Life with Creatures Great and Small. Did not know that she was a big... I guess she's the one who wrote the Cat Who books, isn't she? Or am I conflating her with somebody else? The Cat Who. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, bruv. But I know she's a writer. Thought she wrote the Cat Who books. Who wrote the Cat Who? Yeah, that's Rita Mae Brown, isn't it? The Cat Who. Cat Who Came to Dinner and all that bullshit. See if it mentions it. I don't see that. And it doesn't mention it, so. I thought she was a writer for the Detroit Free Press, which is some interest to me since I'm from the area. The Sneaky Pie Brown. Is that the cat? No, that's Sneaky Pie Brown. Is that Cat Who? I don't know. Anyway, there's that book. The third book, Love and Death, The Murder of Kurt Cobain. A new and explosive investigation into it. Max Wallace and Ian Halperin, including exclusive access to the case tapes of Courtney Love's former PI and a host of compelling new evidence. Of course, this book is from like the early 2000s, so there's going to be no compelling evidence. New compelling evidence, anyway. 2004. So I'm sure that anything that is in this book has been updated to the nth degree. Well, Kurt, the worst crime I can think of is for you to just continue being a rock star when you fucking hate it. Just fucking stop. Sometimes I feel as if I should have a punch-in time clock before I walk out on stage. I've tried everything within my power to appreciate it, and I do, God, believe me, I do. But it's not enough. I appreciate the fact that I and we have affected and entertained a lot of people. I must be one of those narcissists who only appreciate things when they're alone. I'm too sensitive. I need to be slightly numb in order to regain the enthusiasm I once had as a child. Or on our last 3 tours, I've had a much better appreciation for all the people I know personally and as fans of our music, but I still can't get over the frustration, the guilt and empathy I have for everyone. There's good in all of us, and I think I simply love people too much. So why didn't you just fucking stay? That's Courtney. So much that it makes me feel too fucking sad. The sad little, sensitive, unappreciative Pisces. Jesus, man. Courtney. Oh, shut up, you bastard. Wait, is this the second tape of their discussion? The note should be pretty easy to understand. All the warnings from the Punk Rock 101 courses over the years. Courtney, then he goes on to say personal things to me that are none of your damn business. Personal things to Francis that are none of your damn business. I had it good, very good, and I'm grateful. Anyway, this book contends that he was murdered. I don't doubt that. Surviving Hitler, a boy in the Nazi death camps. Did not know it was a Scholastic book, but it was free, so that's the main reason why I got it. I guess I should have known that when it says Scholastic Inc. on the front, on the side, and on the back. So Jack's heart beat hard as he held out his can. The cook filled it. To his surprise, Jack saw a potato floating in the thin soup. He glanced at the cook to thank him, but the cook did not look at Jack. Jack quickly stepped away before a capo could strike him. In this strange new world, one man got nothing, and the next got a precious bit of potato. In an otherwise watery soup, what was the secret of getting the potato? Don't know. Edmund O. Wilson, The Diversity of Life. As you can see, it's a great cover. It's supposed to have a slip cover, but it was missing, so there you go. 2010, the Folio Society Limited. The Diversity of Life, 2019. Obviously, it's about animals. Creatures, animals. Seems to be a popular book. I like the butterflies. It's a great cover. Look, you can even see them glinting. Lastly, for this round, I probably should just do all the books I have since I got another whole box full of stuff today. 23rd Anniversary Deluxe Edition 1969 Gun Digest. World's Greatest Gun Book. Let's see what's in this fucker. Oh, nice shotgun with a scope. Little rifle. Let's get some pistols. Man, this is great. I was hoping there'd be some ephemera in here, but I don't see any. What are those, bullet cases? What was that? Look at cats, wild cats, tabby cats. It's a nice bullet. I mean, it's pretty cool if you're just looking through it, but are you really going to read all this just to go hunting and kill a bird? Model 77 bolt action. Yeah. Gun Digest. Let's put these fuckers down here. Paul Thoreau. Elijah. Alright, I already did those. Let's start bringing up the books. I got some doozies here. Might as well get them all done. Second batch, what did I have in the first? 22? Something like that. Fatima. I hope this house collapses from how many books I have. Got to be approaching 10,000 books at this point. And I will not stop. Les Fleurs du Mal. The romance. Some 25-cent romance books. Wicked Deep. It's wicked awesome, bro. Alright, we're just about fucking Le Fleur de Mal. There was another book, another French book, but I did not get it. Oh, come here, fuckface. Oh shit, I can't reach. We'll start with the Baudelaire. Le Fleur du Mal. And the only reason why I got this, it's pretty marked up. Well, the only reason why I got it was 25 cents, but there's some good illustrations in here. Of course, I don't know who they're by. Maybe they're by Estampis. BN Estampis. But there's some good stuff, like an owl attacking a person. Was that blah blah? Just like death or someone coming there. On a steed. Looks like a girlfriend. No, how do those lyrics go? I had a girlfriend that looked like a boyfriend that you had in February of last year. Madame Altad de Braggard. And then Marie Dobrun. Anyway, where's the good ones? The reason why I got it. What the fuck is this creep show? Goya. Of course it's Goya. Quinn. There's one with the owl attacking a guy. There it is. Now he's attacking a chick. Or a dude. Who's that by? Goya again? Jean Duval. Paul Manet. Jacques Callot. Goya again. Theophile Gautier. Anyway, I don't know what the book's. Obviously, I have a copy of this in English, but I can't read any of it, so it's just for the illustrations. I read Playboy for the stories. A Mirror of Shadows, Dorothy Daniels, the big novel her readers have been waiting for. You got the guy, fucking chick in distress in front of a castle. Who's this guy? Is that a portrait of... Oh, wait, that's her. That must be your secret lover. Spanning 2 generations alive with romance in danger. Then there's this guy. Looks like my neighbor. It might be my neighbor. He lives right over there. It was a dark mirror, ancient. The images it revealed were visions of the future that only women descended from the Irish queen Maeve were able to discern. Beautiful Maeve O'Hanlon cherished the mirror, for in its pale luster she saw the fine features of the man she would marry and glimpse the face of the child she would someday bear. The mirror was her guide and her guardian. She would need its protection against the rich, powerful Camerons, her husband's family. I really do need to start reading some. Oh, look at this little Sweet Tarts wrapper. That's why I like older books. That's fucking brilliant. Those old packages. What year is this? 79 or something. Yeah. Imagine reading this shit and eating some Sweet Tarts. I think I'll go get some Sweet Tarts tomorrow. Sounds good. I used to eat those things. I used to put these motherfuckers into whatever pop I had, just to add more sugar to it. No wonder why I just had to spend $3,000 on my teeth. It was worth it. It was worth the fucking glucose intolerance I now have. I don't have diabetes though. Ain't got the betas. Octavia's Brood, science fiction stories from social justice movements. Are you serious? Didn't even know it said that. What the fuck? Science fiction stories from social justice movements. Those concerned with justice and liberation must always persuade the mass of people that a better world is possible. In Adrienne Maree Brown, what's her name? She thinks she's E. Cummings. And Walida Marisha's visionary conception, and by its activist artists' often stunning acts of creative inception, Octavia's Brood makes for great thinking and damn good reading. The rest will be up to us. Jeff Chang, author of Who We Be, The Colorization of America. Octavia once told me that 2 things worried her about the future of humanity: the tendency to think hierarchically and the tendency to place ourselves higher on the hierarchy than others. I think she would be humbled beyond words beyond words that the fine, thoughtful writers in this volume have honored her with their hearts and minds. Kafka's Last Laugh by Vagabond. All right, well, there's that book. Pretty much anti-science fiction, but as you'll see, I picked up some science fiction books too. Thought I had more. Are they under there? Yeah, they're there. Dragonard Blood, a shocking novel of 3 lustful women spawned in the Old South, raised in a plantation hell and damned by a legacy of slavery and sin. Haunted by the shameful Dragonard legacy of guilt, lust, and naked violence, Peter Abdi battles to control his three beautiful daughters, Imogen, Veronica, and Victoria, for their fierce passions threaten to destroy Dragonard Hill in one final tumultuous explosion. So you got a plantation. Looks like a half naked, well, not half naked woman, but what's it called? A well dressed woman, and oh, there's a cat too. I didn't even see the cat. He's right next to fucking Enrico. Devil's Fire. A magnificent woman's struggle to free herself from the passionate bonds of two relentless men. Don't kiss me. Love's Revenge. Let's see if there's any sweethearts in this one. Nothing. The warm, passionate Delia suddenly found herself dangerously torn between two men. Matthew Shaw had earned her gentle love from childhood, yet the brooding, handsome heart had conquered her entire being in just one brief moment. Between these three tormented hearts stood Halewood Hall, ancestral home of the Hearts, with a savage curse that struck out blindly at all who bore the family name. Delia felt that she alone could break the searing grip of the past before the hungry tongues of ancient grief flamed out to claim her for their own. I think I'm going to start writing romance novels. Rogue's Mistress. The fiery passion of two unforgettable lovers blazes to life again in the turbulent American wilderness. The breathlessly romantic conclusion to Savage Eden. Do I have that? I thought I did get Savage Eden. No, I got Savage Splendor. Fuck. Damn it. Is that by the same author? No, it's not. Constance Gloyes, branded as a runaway white slave, golden-haired Caroline Fane had come with her rogue lover Justin. What's it with the South and slaves and the fucking romance novels? There was like a whole pile of them, but I only got the ones with the best titles. She had put her fate in his powerful hands, made his love more precious to her than life itself. But now she saw this man who possessed her being and intoxicated her with every excitement of spirit and flesh, being tempted by the naked lust of an exquisite half-Indian girl. Of course, he's got to have a mixed girl there. Bride of Thunder. She was flame, fire, passion, and more. She was. Both got their chests bulging out. Is there a cat on this one? No, look at her. Look at him carrying his fucking shirt wide open. Sold to settle her husband's gambling. Sold to settle her husband's gambling debts. Kidnapped, betrayed, and promised to. Does it say toe? Does it say toe? To the Mayan gods as their sacrificial bride. Texas-born beauty Mercy Cameron pursued one recklessly romantic dream to be desired in all ways by the man who bought her as a bondswoman. Don't I have a book about bondswoman? Yeah, it's right there. Is this by the same guy? No. What the fuck? There seems to be like some weird thread. Whoever this lady was that donated all these. What is a bondswoman? Who bought her as a bondswoman? What is a bondswoman? To discover in his arms the depth of ecstasy and the consummate crest of love. Any sweethearts in here? Damn it. I think I'm going to rot all my teeth out and just eating sweethearts and reading romance novels. Oh, the bondswoman, Carol, or is that Caril? You got Cleavage. Who's this? Is that fucking Billy Idol? He wants a white wedding. Desired, betrayed, ravished, enslaved. What's up with women wanting to be enslaved? But never conquered. Love knows no bounds. Out of the turbulent passions and harsh morality of early America comes the fiery saga of a beautiful black slave whose flesh was sold for gold, but whose proud spirit could not be purchased by common coin, only by the currency of love. Now, looking at her, I guess she could pass for black. Yeah, I guess so. The Wealth of Robert Stanhope. I guess if you probably put a real chocolate woman back in the 70s, people probably would have probably not approved of it. So, The Wealth of Robert Stanhope bought Hillaby's body, and the surging torrent of his desires claimed her heart. But even as their love blazed unchained, torment raged, for Hillaby realized that Robert's shy wife was as much her sister as her rival. What? Robert's shy wife was as much her sister as her rival, and her heart would not let her forget that even in her master's arms she was still his slave. In savage splendor. Look at her. Look at those fucking painted on eyebrows. She was torn between her searing passion for one man and her blind loyalty to another. Wipe those fucking eyebrows right off. Charity Varney is rescued from the brutal, rapacious scoundrel who has illegally bought her by aristocratic young Christopher Leach, who will take her back to England with him, where he must report to King. Shut up, that's going too far. When you're reporting back to a king, you know it's total bullshit. Their skin was black, their emotions were white hot. House of Bondage by Alfred Berkovici. She, again, does not look black. He does. I mean, he looks more Hispanic, but what's he doing? Is he got a fucking vampire? Let's see any cats at the mansion. Is there any cats out here? No, I don't see no kitties. He used their flesh, he spilled their blood, he sold their souls. Roy Carter was wealthy, handsome, and civilized. He was the ultimate Southern gentleman, Deborah Fairchild's dream lover. She threw herself into his arms and into his life. But Deborah did not know that beneath his display of gentility, his facade of tenderness, lived the heart of a slave owner, the conscience of a devil. Deborah soon found herself at Roy's plantation, Valley Hill, a hateful place where women were enchained and forced to breed with anyone, even the plantation master himself. It's kind of like tiny houses. Popular library. This one looks like a classic. Not as good as Mandingo, perhaps, but House of Bondage. It's a nice house. The Master of Dragonard. So I must have 2 Dragonard books. Where was the other Dragonard? Anyway, The Master of Dragonard Hill by Rupert Gilchrist. Born in the smoldering ashes of a savage Caribbean slave. Yeah, some chick was really into enslavement and sex. Seething in the flesh auctions of New Orleans, exploding in the sins and secrets of a vast Louisiana plantation, the Master of Dragonard Hill, raw, savage, spellbinding, a lusty giant of a novel by Rupert Gilchrist, best-selling author of Dragonard. So I do have that other book. Look at him carrying her in the swamps to enslave her and make love to her. This is a great cover. Wind with a Y. Windward Passion by Norman Daniels. Why is it all these dudes writing these? Or were women writing them under men's names? What's going on over here? Is this the Civil War? I know it looks like a... possible lynching. This chick's just half naked out in the field by the tree. There's the plantation. At Windward Plantation, the Turners grew tobacco and raised horses, but slaves were their most profitable product. Jonathan Turner mated bucks to wenches and produced prime black stock for sale. To his son Fitzjohn, also, blacks were subhuman chattel, except for one copper-skinned girl whom he cherished with a passion. I'm guessing her. She is pretty hot. I don't know if that's copper. Of course, I'm colorblind as hell. Between white and black, such passion is called lust. Between Fitzjohn and Nina, just lust ripened into love, and the very foundations of the Turner Empire shook in the fury of the windward passion. Got any sweet tarts in here? Nothing. Now I gotta remember which book had the sweet tarts in it. Delta Blood. I was hoping this would be a vampire one, but I think it's just a New Orleans story. Maybe the blood is the bloodline. Barbara Ferry Johnson, The Wild-Hearted Romance of Old New Orleans, by the author of Leonors. Delta Fire. She had always known, and I can't see his name because it's been jizzed out. It was to be a woman, to want as women want. And now on the night of New Orleans' most dazzling ball, a lifetime of smoldering passions drew her into the deepening twilight, into the, what's that say? Pavis? Oh, the bayous. I thought it was an H. Into the bayous that echoed still with voodoo. Voodoo something. Hey, is that, what's that say? Chants, voodoo chants and drum beats, defying the savage embraces of highly something and aristocrats through cruel terrain and the blazing furor of the Civil War. Leah would face all fate had in store for her, to quench the wild longings that inflamed her, to quell the pounding of her aching heart. Wish this lady put her name in these books so I could find out who she was. There was a whole basket of these, but like I said, I only grabbed the good ones. I think that's the last of them. Oh well. 5 to 12, Edmund Cooper, a new science fiction fantasy novel by the author of All Fool's Day and A Far Sunset. This book was free at the one store where you buy one, get 3 free. This provocative sci-fi novel tells of the revolt of a lone, implacable male against the woman-dominated society of 2071. What's that, 71? That's 35 years from now? No, that's 45. There's no way I'm living till 2071. It's possible. If I do, I'll read this fucking book. What's that, 45 years? There's no way I'm living 45 more years. I guess it's possible. I'll be kept on life support. I want to be kept on life support anyways for like the last 25 years of my life, just so I can drain Social Security for all the money those fuckers robbed from me. Edna Ferber, Ice Palace. This seems out of character with their books on the giant and big and whatever they're called, but against the spectacular backdrop of Alaska's frozen beauty, Edna Ferber has spun out a bold and towering tale of rugged adventure. This is the story of 2 men struggling for conquest of a wild and marvelous land, and of a courageous woman who must make a choice that will shape the destiny of a new generation. A whopping good story. This is one of those paperbacks with the ads in the middle. A lot of times they were for cigarettes, but these are obviously classic books in faux leather. What's that called? Regularly $14.67. Now only $1 each. But then you have to buy like 10 and there's shipping and handling. That kind of bullshit. All right. We move on. Barry Malzberg. Another free book. Did I get Edna at that store too? I think I did. I think all these are from that store. So these are all free. Barry Malzberg, The Day of the Burning. The cover's good. The widely acclaimed winner of the first John W. Campbell Memorial Award. It was a sultry. Who's texting? Is this Gabby? Oh, shit. Don't fucking show me that now. I'm live. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, shit. What was I saying? I don't care. Fuck that book. Venus of Dreams. You got some cheeks there. What she got? Is that a rifle belt? Some kind of gun. Is this chick naked in fucking armor? Not armor, but what is in there? This looks like a weapon. That I don't know what it is. Some kind of backpack. Yeah, she looks naked, walking the Venus of Dreams. Sargent is one of the leaders in a new generation of science fiction novelists. Let's see what this says. Share all the visionary excitement, adventure, and human drama of humanity's greatest undertaking. Join a courageous... That sounds boring as shit. Griffons Erie, Andre Norton, and A.C. Crispin. This looks absolutely abysmal, but 'twas free, so one of these days of the year, of the months. Joy's on 9. I really hate fantasy. It's just stupid as hell. The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw is another witchy book, which I'll probably donate to the witch store down the road. Oh, what do we got here? I always love finding stuff. Oh, cupcake. How cute. Inquisition. That's what we're talking about. I mean, I'm looking forward to an Inquisition, even though I'm not religious and they'll put me to death, but it'd be worth it to just have another Inquisition. But only Penny sees what others cannot. She's a seer. Smut by Alan Bennett, the author of The Uncommon Reader, a Picador paperback original stories. I don't think it means smut. Literally, artfully entertaining on one particular subject. Oh, Bennett is incomparably brilliant role-playing, which is the meat of both stories. So there's only 2 stories. So it's kind of a misnomer to call this stories. It should say 2 stories. The Shielding of Miss Forbes and The Greening of Mrs. Donaldson. I have a couple books by Bennett, but I don't really even know who the hell he is. I know he's British. That's all I really know. Medicine Maker, Mystic Encounters on the Shaman's Path. And I think the only thing worse than probably just like spirituality, like Gaia, the Pleiadian agenda, that kind of bullshit, is these fucking mystic shamans. But I still buy the books just because I don't know why. Look at this guy. Hank Wesselman, PhD, is an anthropologist who works with an international group of scientists investigating the mystery of human origins in East Africa's Great Rift Valley. He has taught anthropology at some university. Dr. Wesselman's inspiring quest began with a dramatic encounter on the island of Hawaii when he left for San Diego in 1989. However, he feared that his departure from the islands would sever forever his connection to Nainoa, a Kabuna initiate and fellow mystic traveler. But then one day in May 1990, in a trance of intense, exquisite clarity, Wesselman's mind once again merged with that of Nainoa. Their odyssey of discovery had just begun. Sailor Moon Nako Takeuchi. Don't read this shit. My child used to read these, but has since evolved past manga, I guess. Still draws it, just doesn't read it. Because I always say, hey, do you want this book? And I get just a non-answer. So, but I've collected them in case there is a reawakening of the urge to read that stuff. Dr. Kevin Lehman, The Birth Order book, Why You Are the Way You Are. And this was another freebie from the book sale. Buy one, get four free. It's quite a deal. To my firstborn, lovable perfectionist. What was I, the fourth born? I'm the fourth born, and then I was basically supposed to be the last, but then the two more came, so let's see if there's a fourth born. Middle child. I am kind of a middle child, but I was like the baby for 10 years. Parenting the last born. Parenting the middle child. Taking the squeeze off. I don't know. I liked having little brothers. I took care of those little sons of bitches. I don't think I really taught them anything, but Fatima, in Lucia's own words. Look, she's happy. Opening the New Testament, the only book I desire to have here in front of me in this remote corner of the attic, lit by a single skylight to which I would draw whenever I can in order to escape as far as possible from all human eyes. My lap serves as a table, and an old trunk as a chair. In St. Paul's letter to the Philippians, I read, "Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus." He humbled himself, becoming obedient unto death. It is God who works in you to will and to accomplish according to his good will. And yes, I collect books on nuns and whatever Fatima is. I still don't know what Fatima is, but I think it's an apparition of the lady or Mary or something like that. Shrine of the Little Flower, and I may actually have this book already. And since I now have this, well, I mostly have this room sorted, but bought a new tote. Let's go see if I have this fucking book already. If I do, I'm selling this shit. Do I have this motherfucker? Motherfucker, where are you? That's where it would be. I think I might have it. No, I think that's a different book. The Life of the Little Flower. This is just the Shrine of the Little Flower. All right, so I have Father Coughlin's books all ready to go. I think this is from 36. All right, you're going up on the shelf, so I'll have to walk back over here. Oh, shit. Oh. Oh, man. Romanovs. Simon Sebag. Montefiore. I don't know if I already have this book. I have some books on the Romanovs, but I don't know who the author is. Damn, those are some nice portraits. That's fancy. Those are great portraits. Yeah, that's fucking brilliant. Hello. Hell took these made these portraits. They're fucking great. It's a goddamn captain of industry. Then we got some nude lady here. Alexander II fell in love with Katia Dolgorukaya, above left, when she was a schoolgirl. Well, that's kind of creepy. They finally became lovers at Belvedere, top right. Alexander praised Katia's capacity for sexual pleasure and her luxurious golden hair and body, which he himself sketched. That's a pretty bad sketch, buddy. Look at her face. I mean, it's not a very good sketch. It's not bad, but it's hardly I could probably do that. These are some great portraits. Endless Novelty. Specialty Production and American Industrialization. 1865 to 1925. This fucking guy working the lathe or whatever it is. The United States first emerged as a global manufacturing leader in the decades between the Civil War and World War I. Traditionally, the huge mass production-based business, steel, oil, and autos, have long been given sole credit for this ascendancy. Here, Philip Scranton boldly recasts the history of this vital episode in the development of American business, providing a highly detailed account of the crucial role played by specialty firms such as furniture builders and tool makers in bolstering U.S. economic fortunes. Thanks, Arnie. I hope my neighbor isn't up because he probably wonders why I'm shining the fucking light over there, but oh well. He's a weirdo that sits out in his backyard. And I believe I have this book. I do. Definitely. You can see it right there. Right there. But for 25 cents, I think it was. Maybe it was $1. I definitely wasn't passing it up. Plus, I think that copy I have over there is signed. Ronnie Reagan. Preface, Ronald Reagan. Did he write the preface? Anyway, The Naked Communist by W. Cleon Skousen is a... You will be alarmed, you will be informed, and you'll be glad you heard W. Cleon Skousen. Pretty sure there's some conspiracists who claim that Reagan, when he was a Screen Actor Guild president, was a communist himself, so they called him Red Ronnie. I don't know how true that was, but that's what they spouted at some thing I was at. Now updated, this edition includes a chapter on the 45 communist goals, detailing how 44 of those goals have been achieved in the U.S. Yeah, it's true. I mean, basically everything the communist platform lays out has been achieved in American politics. So you can say we're not a communist country, but I do believe we are. And that's why we have become a shitty country. Commies. They're all commies. I've always said that they're commies. And they always were commies. Let's see if I'm right about that copy being signed. Oh, these fucking video game books. I should have sold them. Are you signed? Did I make that up? I think I did make that up. It's his other book that I have that's signed. Where is it? Oh, there it is. That's the one that's signed right there. I really want to read that book, Red Fog Over America. Yeah, that's the one that's signed. All right, well, I wasn't totally wrong. I also want to read Constant Combies, The Hidden Dangers of the Rainbow. But I think that's all. Said all the books. Yeah, that's all the books I bought today, which is goddamn a lot of books. But that's an hour and 10 minutes you'll never have back in your life. All right, Pops.